Thank you for joining us for KBOI 2 News Midday. I'm Brian Moore, and let's get right to your top 11 stories at 11. It's been a few days now since the news broke about that salmonella outbreak at the Boise Co-op, but we now know the source. Tests revealed that raw turkey, onions, and tomatoes spread the bacteria that made at least 60 people sick. Raw foods are nearly always to blame in these cases. And Central District Health has set up a hotline on the salmonella outbreak. The number is right there on your screen, 321-2222. And KBOI 2 News wanted to know how challenging it is to protect against salmonella, so we went to another deli in town. The owner of Deli George says it's very important to remain diligent whenever you're in the kitchen.
Be at the front of your mind all the time. We have to be very diligent. If we become careless, then that's the perfect opportunity for cross-contamination.
All right, coming up in a few minutes, we'll take you into the kitchen and show you the do's and don'ts of food prep. And police in Caldwell are mourning the death of one of their own. Reserve Officer Jeff Irby was killed in a car crash. He was off duty. This was Monday night. Irby had been a reserve officer for the department since 2004. He crashed into a canal on Highway 44. He was not wearing a seatbelt. And a 70-year-old motorcyclist was killed in Malheur County. Oregon State Police tell us Charles Fernald drifted off Highway 26 and rolled. He was thrown from the vehicle into a fence. Investigators say they're looking into what may have contributed to that crash. Boise firefighters today continuing mopping up a fire along the Greenbelt at Veterans Memorial Parkway. Firefighters say about 3 acres of grasses and brush burned between the canal and the Boise River. No word on the cause, but firefighters say be careful when you're out and about. Conditions are dry and ripe for a fire. The Caldwell School District Superintendent Thomas Rosendick and Assistant Superintendent Lucy Asamendi both have been relieved of their duties. The Board of Trustees writes, given the current circumstances, and in order to maintain a cohesive, unified, and mutually supportive management of district affairs, it is agreed this action is in the best interests of all concerned. And members of a Boise family say they're grateful to be alive, all because of smoke detectors. Investigators say the fire started in a second-story dryer. This was off of Allenbaugh. Everyone inside the apartment was asleep at the time.
I thought it was my alarm to go to work, but it wasn't. And once I woke up, my dad was trying to turn it off, so that's when we headed outside.
Everyone did make it out okay. The Burnout Fund is helping the family. In news from around the Northwest, the former president of the Spokane NAACP chapter now says she identifies as black, even though she's actually white. In an interview, Rachel Dolezal said she began thinking of herself as African American about the age of 5. She says she would draw herself with a brown crayon instead of a peach one. Dolezal says she never meant to mislead anybody.
My life has been one of survival, and the decisions that I have made along the way, including my identification, have been to survive and to, carry forward in my journey and life continuum.
Dolezal resigned from the NAACP Monday after her parents revealed that she's a white woman pretending to be black. And the 4 Words activists who were arrested during the legislative session were sentenced Tuesday. You might recall that 20 protesters were charged with trespassing after refusing to leave the House and Senate chambers. The protests came shortly after Republican lawmakers rejected legislation that would have amended the state's Human Rights Act, which currently does not protect LGBT communities from workplace and housing discrimination. Gretchen Bates was the first to be sentenced.
The reason I'm here, my best friend's son and his transgender partner jumped off the Perrine Bridge to their deaths because they felt no hope.
The judge fined Bates $100 and ordered her to give 50 hours of public service to a nonprofit organization. Others in the group received similar sentences. And the Garden City Westbridge now open, giving runners and bikers more options. Yesterday, city leaders celebrated with a ribbon cutting. They call it a critical Greenbelt connection that provides a continuous trail from Lucky Peak all the way to Eagle. Even the mayor says he'll ride his bike on this new bridge.
I don't live too far away, so I ride, that's part of my route that I can ride to do about a 4 or 5 mile loop.
Construction of the Garden City West Bridge cost $1.2 million.